The Alpha!
Mighty fine work.
Look, there's some debris over there. I'm guessing from Tyr's poor statue.
Iron peace, not a golden war.
Tyr used to talk about how heavy the cost of war was compared to its bounties. He felt like it was his responsibility to avoid it.
Aye, and everyone worshipped him for it. Brother, what you said before about the oracles of your lands being fooled by their own prophecies, I get the sense that was coming from personal experience, aye?
Yes.
Brother.
Defend the peace.
Well, I think that's the last of it. Doubt. We'll find any more interesting bits.
I always admired the love Tyr inspired.
Where I come from, gods of war are not revered in such a way.
Not all gods of war are the same, brother.
No, they are not.
I look forward to exploring Alfheim and not having to fight ours.
Oh? What makes you think that's an option?
They've united, haven't they? What possible reason would they have to attack us?
Sorry to say, but there are still plenty of elves out in the Barrens eager for conflict.
Why? Freyr united them. They fought together at Ragnarok.
For those who have spent their lives in combat, peace is not always an option.
Broken history. Aye, not exactly an easy fix for that. must say, I think we make a good team. With my brains, Kratos' brawn, and my lady's,
Wisdom? Magic? Ability to tolerate you for long periods of time?
I was going to say
Freya.
brutal.
He forged a piece.
Of a sort.
Wish I could have seen that.
I'm sure he wished the same.
If you'll... excuse me. I wish to pay my respects to your brother. In my own way.
Of course. Let's go.
Brother, you don't like riddles, eh?
No.
Oh, you just haven't heard any good ones. Here, I'm tall when I'm young, short when I'm old. What
A
hap-
candle.
Yeah. Heard that one before?
No.
Oh. Well, did you like it?
I'm glad we can help these Einherjar on their way, even if they hate us for it.
They do not need to spend their afterlife serving a cruel god any longer.
Agreed.
Brother, somewhere out there's a riddle you'd enjoy, and I'm going to find it.
Do not.
Once spoken, instantly broken. What am I?
Silence.
Correct!
I was not answering the riddle.
Ah. Wait a bloody moment. Is that?
Thor's hammer. And his daughter.
I'll make you proud, Dad.
Well, good for her.
Howdy, y'all! Welcome to the desert!
Thank you. A trade.
Just,
And
no. Ragnarok armor's on the house. We'll call it a commemorative piece. Y'all feeling, crafty? Know what you want? Want to talk for a spell?
Gulon in Alfheim?
And sled trained by the looks of it. Most unusual.
I've never seen such obedience in Gulon. There's some kind of magic at work here.
Regardless, it should make desert travel downright pleasant. Were it not for the brutal sandstorm. Any particular direction to find your wounded animal? Or are we just enjoying the weather?
How do you hope to find anything in all this?
Perhaps we find a cave first to catch our bearings? Aye, you see that?
More debris from Asgard. We should have a look. I wonder how many of these fragments of Asgard there...
A realm's worth at least, so I'd say we have our work cut out for us.
Look there! An entrance to the caves!
This cave extends underneath the desert.
Aye. A refuge for the Dark Elves, by the looks of it. One of the few remaining now that they're barred from the temple. Perhaps we'll find Atreus' wounded animal down here.
Lead the way, Kratos. I trust you to not get us lost underground.
Bad showing them!
Blinded by hate, lashing out at everything and everyone for the
not listen to reason. Combat is unavoidable.
Oh, trust me, I know. Still, I wish it were not the case. This creature Atreus heard, why wait until now to free it?
It was not a priority.
We were too busy attempting to stave off Ragnarok to indulge in any desert dalliances.
Shame. I imagine Atreus would have enjoyed a quest to free an injured animal.
Yes, he would have.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to twist the knife.
You did not. Atreus has chosen his path. I trust him to be safe.
I wish I had your confidence with my own son when he was Atreus' age. Baldur craved adventure, but with the words of the Norns repeating in my head.
Your worry consumed you, as my rage once did to me.
You overcame it, eventually.
Thanks to Atreus. And his mother.
Yes. Perhaps if Odin had loved his children as much as he loved using them, both would still be with us.
Patanina, Naniuta!
Atreus reminds me more of Freyr in his youth than of Baldur. His sensitivity, his compulsion to help any and all in need.
That is his mother's influence. Despite all attempts to train him otherwise, Atreus was eager to help lost spirits or run errands for the dwarves during our travels together.
Faye's influence runs deeper than that. Why do you think you're the one assaulting a cave full of hostile dark elves to save a wounded creature?
On the left! Brother! The wee bastard's about to explode!
See that explosive? Setting it off could help.
Excursions like this once served as training for Atreus, or an excuse to gather resources while testing his abilities. But I made him a promise. His voice as my guide.
And his voice told you to come out here?
He would approve. Strange, that means more to me now than it did before he left.
You've said it yourself. Atreus takes after his mother. His approval.
Nightmare on the left! Behind you, watch out! Above you, brother!
A Hafgufa. I haven't seen one since I was a child.
Great, Gefjun's ghost! That's the largest bloody half-goof I've ever laid eyes on.
That howling sounds familiar.
It's the Song of the Sands. They don't normally sing like this underground.
That must be the cause of the storm.
Aye. Judging by all this hive matter weighing it down, it's been trapped here for dozens of winters.
There must be a way to cut it loose.
I'd wager that there's nothing here a well-placed throw of the axe can't solve.
If we can clear those rocks away, we might get the right angle. That helped. We've cut it loose, but it can't seem to escape.
Much of the hive matter is gone. We can free it from the surface now.
How in the realms did they capture such a large one?
Half-goofers are known to burrow, so I'd hesitate to place full blame on our dark elf friends.
Even though it's bound by their hive?
Hive matter doesn't belong to the Dark Elves, any more than the light belongs to the Light Elves. It's just another of Alfheim's natural resources. One the elves have used since the time of their ancestors. And while the Light Elves seem keen to banish the hive over on their side, the Dark Elves make effective use of it out here in the Barrens.
But if this is true, are we doing more harm than good by destroying this hive?
You wish to leave the creature enslaved.
No. Freya would have wanted us to do everything in our power to restore this realm. We will free it.
Here! You should be able to cut this part away and free the Hafgufa!
Never imagined I'd see a half-goofa fly again. Can't believe the lad missed this.
The storm is gone. The Song of the Sands has returned to Alfheim, albeit somewhat diminished from how I remember it as a child.
Atreus will be glad to hear it is no longer in pain.
You look forward to telling him.
One day. Yes.
You gave him a gift, allowing him to walk his own path. I know that wasn't easy.
I know you cared for him as well. You have always done right by Atreus.
He is the best of us.
Well, nice to be able to have a real conversation out here for once. Brother, what you said before about the oracles of your land being fooled by their own prophecies, I get the sense that was coming from personal experience, aye?
Yes.
Brother, wait. You noticed that?
Another berserker.
Hold that thought. I think it's about to get violent. Come under the cruel. Dagger the twist of right. I felt that one, after what they did.
Lyra? I've never heard of it.
It was a peaceful kingdom, full of artists and poets, but it fell to ruin long ago.
And these berserkers were responsible.
Them and their accursed King Thrall. What little blood I have still boils at the thought.
Your former home, I assume.
Let's just take this victory and move on, eh?
There is no need to shoulder this burden on your own.
Admittedly, you're shouldering the brunt of the work here. Let me worry about the emotional burden. Brother, what you said before about the oracles of your lands being fooled by their own prophecies, I get the sense that was coming from personal experience, aye?
Yes. Once, I sought the Oracle for a means to break my bondage to Ares. One priestess had visions that showed her Olympus would be brought to ruin by the god of war. But we will speak of this later.
You never do seem to get rid of those things.
Made by the elves from my brother. He must have found it too painful to keep.
Well, knowing the elves, there are probably more tributes to find. Brother, can we get back to what you were saying about the oracle of your homeland? She had visions of Olympus being brought down.
Yes, by the god of war. Therefore she helped me, intending to undermine Ares and protect her realm. She did not foresee that I would kill him and take his office. But we will speak of this later.
That groom's found a perch on high!
From behind! Incoming!
Right side, brother! You're building quite the collection of poetry, brother.
Why so surprised? My people are known for their culture.
Not surprise. Esteem. Freya, you once revived a giant's corpse to stop a certain fight we won't talk about. Could you call on that power again?
Maybe. Do you have a massive giant's corpse for me to revive?
No?
Well, there you go.
Brother, can you finish what you were saying about the Oracle of your homeland? She helped you against the God of War because she had visions that the God of War would bring down Olympus.
Yes, and in defeating Ares, I became the god of war.
Hold on. What's this way?
Let us find out.
Much of the sand has been cleared away, but another storm rages beyond that pass, which must mean...
Another half-Gufa.
Mecking. I remember when Freyr and I traveled to this realm as children. The desert was healthy and full of life back then. I can't help but fear that era has ended for good and our efforts here are futile.
It's a fair concern. Healing this land will take more than a pair of singing half-Gufa. But I have to believe, in the long run, we're doing right by Alfheim. Well, best we start looking for a way underground.
Keep a lookout for a cave! I see an entrance!
Saw how poorly these lands fared in his absence, did he? He would appreciate our efforts out here.
Aye. Hearing the Song of the Sands again is a rare privilege, even if it's only a solo act.
Or a duet, once this half-Gufa is free. This architecture, it is not of the Dark Elves.
An abandoned ancient settlement, by the looks of it. Built long before the Lightwell's creation.
More hive matter as well.
I'd say we're on the right track then.
Blocked.
Could I reach it from down here?
This kind of hive material is sensitive to sound. How odd. When I last came here with you and Atreus, I assumed the absence of Alfheim's light was an aberration. I didn't realize it was covered by hive matter.
Aye. And as far as the Dark Elves are concerned, it's that light column in the center of the temple that's the aberration. Look at how old some of these surfaces are. Far older than the Lightwell, or even our trapped half-Gufa for that matter.
That's quite the empathetic perspective, Ymir.
Well, dangle from a burly god's backside for a few winters, and you'll find yourself looking for all sorts of new perspectives.
Behind you, look out!
give him what for!
Righto.
From behind! Incoming!
Behind you! Incoming!
Light elves don't often travel underneath the barrens, do they?
Territory changes hands often in Nalfheim, or so it appears.
Big Veer did mention that these ruins have historical significance for the Light Elves. I assume they're only here to keep intruders out.
Well, at least they tried.
Good eye. Let's continue, shall we?
These half-goofers will allow them to breed again. It was a dazzling display once. The skies of Alfheim filled with their song.
I imagine it's the lack of fresh light that's caused this pair to grow abnormally large. No use in having babies if there's nothing for them to feed on.
Trying to protect their children from a harsh world. I can relate. I wonder if these two comprehend the choice they're facing through.
What choice do you speak of?
The life cycle of the Half-Goofer. In order to breed, they must pass on their light to their children.
And without light, they will die.
I suppose that's all any of us can hope for in the end. That our death has purpose. That we can live on through our children. Given another chance, I know what choice I would make. Well done. Time to set it loose.
Aye. Back to the surface then. Behind you! Look out! Behind you, brother!
pipe.
Used in many of Freyr's blessings, I imagine.
The fate of these creatures reminds me of a story.
Does it?
There once was a blacksmith whose king commanded him to construct a box that could contain all the evils of the world. But no metal could hold such a power. So the blacksmith used the flame of...
Kratos, is this a story meant to ease my grief?
Perhaps it is just a story. A way to pass the time.
I appreciate the sentiment, but... well, your stories...
What about my stories?
I wouldn't exactly call them a comfort.
Fair. Mimir is the better storyteller.
Now, don't sell yourself short, brother. You've come a long way from the days of laconic fables.
It's okay. Finish your story.
The blacksmith's daughter was the key to unlocking the box. She died trying to protect her from those who would open it.
Well, at least it's a relatable story.
It appears we've overstayed our welcome in Alfheim.
Time to end this storm.
If my stories are of no comfort, take solace in knowing you did what you thought was best for your son's safety. Even these creatures know. There is little choice for a parent. You are not alone.
I'm not, am I? And now neither are they. Incredible.
The Song of the Sands. Well, didn't know I could get misty. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Kratos. This land sings once more. We've done good here.
No rush to leave yet, is there? Who knows what kind of adventures await us in our freshly lit barrens?
light elf statue in the desert. Odd.
Aye. Fair bet this is the sanctum Big Deer spoke of in Van Eyck.
Light elf architecture. It's massive.
A token.
A badge of honor. The elves made a few of these. They'd hang them up outside the dwelling. Show their support.
Behind you, brother!
The Alpha!
Locked. It requires 2 keys.
What are they keeping back there?
That's the beauty of a locked door. It could be anything. Monsters, treasure. Knowing our luck, it'll be a bit of both.
A monument to Freyr. I wonder if he ever saw this.
This statue may have survived Freya's absence, but a truce clearly did not. Monuments are useless to those who ignore their message.
He didn't create a truce through diplomacy alone. His godhood, his very presence is what healed this land and allowed peace to take root. But once he left, he had to have known what would happen.
Well, he had good reason to leave. Some jackass convinced his sister to marry a madman.
You said monuments are useless. Why?
It was hidden for some time. Perhaps now it can serve as a reminder.
Aye. Nothing reminds people of their history like chiseled, well-lit marble.
These crystals contain their own light.
You're right. Normally, we'd have to provide our own. Perhaps slotting a crystal on the opposite side could shed some light on this mystery.
Ring of crystal shards glow.
Looks like we can read the inscription now as well.
The light from the crystals. It is in the sand now.
Would you look at that? Freyr's gift endures after all. Or should I say, his presence?
You are not funny.
Anything illuminating?
Even when Freyr was actually here, the peace was fragile. Surely a bit of extra light in the desert isn't enough to make it last.
Before I met Faye, I could not imagine a life of peace. After her death, in our travels to Jotunheim, I found peace on my own. It remains my responsibility to make it last.
I only hope his guidance will last this time.
We will see. But he has given them a chance.
Brother, can you finish what you were saying about the Oracle of your homeland? She helped you against the God of War because she had visions that the God of War would bring down Olympus.
Yes, and in defeating Ares, I became the god of war. In the end, I proved her vision of doom correct.
So the Oracle herself brought about the very future she hoped to avoid. I'm so very relieved we didn't do the same. Fancy a riddle?
If you fancy a boot to the head.
Riddle solved.
Something is coming, and it's not happy.
The Alpha!
Your guess is as good as mine. Imprisoning a drake. Can't decide whether to be impressed or horrified.
Either way, it is over now.
Freya, I've always wondered, why was Freyr so revered here so quickly upon his first arrival?
Well, to begin with, it wasn't his first arrival. Very few know this, but Freyr was one of the earliest visitors to Alfheim, back in the dawn of realm travel.
Oh? Bit before my time. Do tell.
We believed for a long time that all the giants had died in the flood, until one of them appeared in Vanaheim.
Enough. We will continue later.
This mentions a spell that puts trolls to sleep, and a magic relic that acts as a sort of counterspell. Well, that relic certainly did the trick. I somewhat missed fighting trolls, didn't you? But don't forget to grab what they dropped. I bet Lunda could make some armor out of it. Perhaps we can bring these two animals back to Vanaheim, or Midgard even. Becky and Svanna could use the company. We have kennels.
It would not go well for them. Once a predator becomes accustomed to a land, it is cruel to move them.
I suppose you're right. Just seems lonely out here.
It is peaceful. They have
Hold
each
that
other.
thought. I think it's about to get violent.
Down!
The Hildcrave's battle that grave will provide.
Freya, do you mind picking up that story about your brother? I think you said a giant had appeared in Vanaheim.
That's right. Her name was Gerd, and she came offering to teach us the secrets of traveling between realms using Bifrost light. Freyr became immediately infatuated with her. He always yearned to wander, and along came someone who could truly show him how.
Roll. We will finish later.
An elven library.
An archive of knowledge.
No sign of the Light Elves.
For now.
Maybe they've left for the day, and we can browse at our leisure.
These rooms. These texts alone are not enough to end the Elven War, but restricting their access only serves those who wish to prolong it.
Taking a page out of Odin's book.
Aye, quite the advantage for the Light Elves.
This book is sealed, but there is an inscription. Consul.
Bigbear spoke of an exile of the same name. Odds are he'd like a gander at that particular text.
All this knowledge of their ancestors. Their shared history, poetry. Just sitting here. Forgotten. What a waste.
Ah, it appears the librarian would like a word.
Lata Frambog.
Sounds like she wants that journal back.
No.
Leosalva. Thought. Megivit. Haga Brotina.
She thinks she's protecting them by hiding all this knowledge away.
The elves do not need protection from their history. They need access. A new chapter awaits.
I'm impressed. Thought you were going to end it.
When last we traveled here, after Faye passed, I killed an elf of great importance. The ramifications were dire for his people. I do not wish to make the same mistake twice.
Freya, getting back to your brother learning to realm travel. You said he fell in love with his teacher.
Yes, Girth. Someone he could wander with as never before. So, wander they did, exploring the world tree from root to branch. But one day, it came time for Girth to wander away. Freyr was heartbroken, and resolved himself to perform some great feat to win her back. He set his aim on the grandest of gestures. He intended to be the first to find the elusive source of Bifrost light. And he succeeded, although quite by accident. Freyr believed he navigated best while fortified by a potent blend of Vanir herbs. When he wandered, he wandered. And he managed to wander from the World Tree directly into the Lake of Souls. The elves have never seen anybody come out of the lake before, so it got some attention.
Oh, that is bloody hilarious.
I don't know whether he worked his charms at that point or they just assumed him to be a great deity. Of course, he hadn't made this journey in search of responsibility, so he didn't stick around long. Still, the legend of his manifestation was passed along through the ages. It even endured after the Great Division, remembered by Light and Dark Elf alike.
Let this wait. Stay alert.
The Alfie was stolen. I felt that one, brother.
What is its connection to these spirits?
It's a symbol of their betrayal, their cruelty personified. The sooner we're done with it, the better.
If I can make peace with my blades.
I suppose you're right. If Skofnung rids the land of these bastards, I can stomach its presence a bit longer.